102.2 The Harvest. Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Experience of One. This is an awareness expanding course that should be absorbed in order. Like a university course, this course's information builds upon itself, so you would be doing yourself a disservice if you took it in out of order. If you do not watch it in order, you might not comprehend the material, or worse, you will think you fully understood it and walk away with a skewed interpretation. Do yourself a favor and first view 101.1, 101.2, 101.3, and 101.4, which are all in one video that starts with an introduction to this course. Then continue on in viewing the subjects in order. The introduction to this course needs to be taken in first in order to know the nature of this awareness expanding course. Think of this course as a book where you will not understand it fully if you do not read the chapters in order, Chapter 1 being the introduction that is imperative to take in first. So please click on the link in the description section under this video to view the first video. We will speak of the harvest time. The cosmos could be seen as a cosmic clock with infinite gears or cycles. The gears or cycles within each universal clock of the cosmic clock range from tiny to extremely large. Patterns in each universe are cyclical. The larger the cycle, the more changes that take place at the end of that cycle. A grand cycle for Earth is a tiny cycle in a universal clock, comparatively speaking. Since the ending of a third density grand cycle is the largest cycle pertaining to the third density experience, the biggest changes happen at that time on the planet as it transitions into a fourth density core planet. Even though we have already stated that transitioning / dying is something that beings do countless times and is nothing to fear, we realize that the programming on your planet of the fear of death is strong, so we will reiterate before proceeding with this topic. There is nothing to fear about the influx of energy from the Logos / Sun and major geological changes on Earth that assist beings in transitioning / dying. Every being's existence is infinite, and change is a primary aspect of the cosmic experience, as well as beyond. Not changing is what presents a problem. One who holds tightly to what they know and do because they do not understand, and so possibly fear, what there is to learn and what is to come, limits themselves greatly. While journeying down the river, if one holds tightly to the shore instead of letting go with the flow of the river, stagnation occurs that may make the area of collecting water contaminated. One may not know what lies around each bend, but if they know all rivers eventually flow to the ocean and possess spiritual faith in the process, strength and fortitude is mustered, and flowing down the long river can be a joyful and enlightening experience. One is not floating down the river as something separate from the water. They are parts of the water flowing among other parts of the water within the water system toward the total uniting of themselves in the ocean. From within the ocean and of the ocean, they then relax in the calming deep waters for as many seasons as seem fit before choosing to evaporate into the air and prepare themselves while in a cloud that guides them to the specific location on land where they rain down from the etheric cloud and begin a new and different journey toward the ocean. The more a river path experienced, the greater understanding of the whole water system. Water that knows it is always a part of the ocean and connected to the ocean does not fear change or the journeys, no matter how rough the currents become. Instead, The water enjoys and is entertained by the journeys, knowing it is their choice to venture far and learn from their experiences along the journeys. The experiences are collected like gifts that are opened and enjoyed by both the water and the ocean, and forever held dear by the deep, loving, joyful, and peaceful ocean. There are smaller cycles within a grand cycle. A grand cycle for Earth is approximately 75,510 years. Such as a major cycle for Earth is approximately 25,170 years, that always ends with what some human beings have called a micronova. A logos/star keeps working after a micronova, unlike what humans have called novas or supernovas, where the logos/star is done with its work of nurturing the spheres and all the beings on those spheres that cycle/orbit it. A micronova could be seen as an extremely intense coronal mass ejection, CME, that ejects off of the whole surface around the logos/star at the same instance, like a word shown on screen, greatly affecting the entire solar system. When this influx of intense energy meets a planet, there are major geological changes. Then there is a minor cycle on Earth, approximately every 12,585 years, where geological changes also happen to a smaller extent, but may still be perceived as major to the beings on the planet. Then there is a more minor cycle on Earth, approximately every 6,293 years, where geological changes still occur. The cycles continue in this halving manner for a mathematical infinity. The smaller the cycles get, the less noticeable the geological changes are until they are too slight to notice. A grand cycle for fourth density beings and in higher densities is set to a much larger cycle within each universal clock. The higher the density, the larger the cycle. Just as every being has 7 potential physical bodies, red-gray body to violet-ray body, to utilize along its cosmic journey, with only one of these bodies typically being activated at a given time, the 7 physical densities are in potentiality for every planet along its respected journey. The higher the density, the more dense with intelligently conscious love and light energy. The more dense with this life force energy, the less sway physical matter changes, such as geological changes, have on the beings in their respected densities, as spiritual mass increases and physical mass decreases as the densities are ascended. The major cyclical changes of a planet pertaining to third density beings could be seen as the ending of rounds on a game board, where there are 3 rounds or acts. Each round in the game board starts with geological shifts that shake up the play of the experience on the board and offers a new round where new possibilities and opportunities are available instead of an experience getting locked into the same type of play for the whole duration of the grand cycle. There are always third density players to continue the experience on the board. A major cycle does not end with extinction across the board, even at the end of a grand cycle. All extinction occurrences that may happen sometime within the grand cycle are due to players' actions and are not predetermined occurrences, not standard gameplay incidents. Some players get so caught up in gameplay that when they become infuriated with actions that have transpired on the game board, they selfishly attempt to smash their fists down on the board game and destroy the board, ruining the experience for all players, all players who naturally try to prevent the selfish player or players from destroying the board. This equates to negatively oriented third density beings making their planet inhospitable or even blowing it up into small pieces. From a higher density being's viewpoint on top of a tall mountain, the natural cyclical changes are seen to make sense and serve a purpose for the third density players below in the valleys and plains. The third density being's viewpoint on top of a hill does not provide a large enough viewpoint to understand the purpose. Everything serves a purpose. The Earth's third density experience has been far below the average for beings graduating to fourth density. The end of the grand cycle is just around the corner, and only a small amount of beings have graduated so far. This is precisely why there has been so much higher density assistance in the last major cycle on Earth. First the offering of pyramid structures, and then the offering of wisdom and knowledge from wanderers or channeled material to positively oriented third density beings, which unfortunately turned into religions filled with distortions where the material received was thought to be different and in opposition with another's received material. However, from Source's viewpoint, what transpired during each possibility/timeline of Earth third density experience is exactly as it should be. All roads, long and short, serve a purpose and lead back to Source. When it is close to the end of a grand cycle on a third density planet, beings who are the closest to graduating to fourth density, positive or negative, have precedence for incarnation openings. It is a seniority by vibration, letting those beings of later third subdensities who have the best chance of graduating to incarnate. This short period of time could be seen as the final and most intense part at the end of the third round on the game board. Such intense and challenging experiences offer opportunities for a major increase in polarity toward the positive or negative for each being. All the most advanced and skilled players in a third density experience mingle or go head-to-head on a mixed graduation scenario during this short time period. Lower vibratory beings are going to have to transition to a different third density planet anyway to continue their third density experience, so having them incarnate and take a spot that another being could have used to graduate would not be ideal. This priority or seniority of a being's vibration offers later third subdensity beings increased chances at graduating after their last incarnation of the grand cycle, because the influx of inpouring energy raises the vibration of the planet and the collective, which provides increased challenges that coincide with opportunities that offer major advancement and possible graduation, if not already eclipsed. Seniority of vibration also occurs because each being is not given an incarnation experience that is seen as too difficult for them. Since the Earth is a mixed graduation planet with both positive and negative graduates, the end of a grand cycle and the transitional period from late third to early fourth density can be intense, since the most advanced later third subdensity beings on opposite sides of polarity, positive and negative, are incarnated during the same time period. There are many variables that go into gauging whether a being is ready to graduate to fourth density, as all beings are unique. But for simplification, it could be stated that a being needs to have performed at least 51% service to others actions to graduate to fourth density positive, and a being needs to have performed at least 95% service to self actions to graduate to fourth density negative. We reiterate that there have been far more positive graduates on Earth than negative graduates. Even the one known as Adolf Hitler did not graduate to fourth density negative, as he actually thought he was doing a good thing for the planet. Displaying this kind of violent confusion accrues much unbalanced karma, but intention is key for graduation. Two well-known beings in your known history that have graduated to fourth density negative are known as Genghis Khan and Rasputin. Their intentions were purely selfish, and they intentionally performed service to self actions. Both of these beings are currently working for the word shown on screen in the fourth density. They did not have to wait till the end of their major cycle to graduate because they worked through their indigo ray chakra and penetrated the violet ray chakra to connect with source energy, which allowed their graduations to fourth density negative after they transitioned / died. Rasputin was a negative adept. Genghis Khan unintentionally connected with source energy purely through his laser-focused intentions of self-serving actions. We reiterate that there is no possibility / timeline / dimension where Earth becomes a negative fourth density planet after harvest time, because far more beings have and will graduate to fourth density positive instead of negative. The possibilities / timelines / dimensions for the smoothest transition into a fourth density core positive planet are still in fluctuation and in the hands of incarnate third density beings, such as yourself, to decide. Due to this fluctuation, there is a very wide range of possible space and time scenarios to unfold while planet Earth fully transitions into a fourth density experience. The range is wide due to the amount of variables factored into planet Earth's atypical transition. The majority of human beings who have and will graduate to fourth density positive and will keep experiencing planet Earth will transition / die in order to relinquish their third density bodies and incarnate on Earth again through the typical manner of sexual reproduction in fourth density astral bodies, which are completely visible to third density beings until much time passes and they learn how to be invisible to third density beings and their technology, so the two densities can experience different collective experiences when the second wave of third density beings start incarnating onto Earth again millions of years later. A transition / death is necessary for advancement, which is one of the many reasons why a being should not fear transitioning. All beings must transition countless times in order to advance on their journey back to Source. Even if one could cheat death / a transition, they would only be cheating themselves by holding themselves back. At the end of a grand cycle, all are eventually harvested whether they are ready to graduate to fourth density or not. The harvest does not happen in one grand moment as depicted in your distorted religious material. The harvest may happen in a short period of time for the many that transition / die during the micronova and major geological changes at the end of the grand cycle, but for others it takes longer to be collected during harvest time. If a farmer's field is as large as a whole planet, it takes a period of time even if the farmer has a great amount of assisting farm hands during harvest time to get to and sort out all the wheat and chaff. All will be harvested, the when is of little importance. The end of a grand cycle never naturally ends with extinction, so all are not harvested at once. Removing all the beings or players from the board at once would not be a wise approach for continuing the experience. The human beings who survive the earth changes are harvested at the end of their incarnations. All third density beings who took part in the third density earth experience are harvested whether they are currently incarnate or disincarnate during the duration of harvest time. To be harvested is for a being's violet ray chakra to be analyzed in the inner planes while transitioning, after so-called death, and found ready for graduation to fourth density or to continue the third density experience. There is no judgment or punishment. All beings' journeys are as they should be from a perspective held by middle 6 subdensity beings up to source. During a harvest time transition, there is only one step that is added to the transition while entering the inner planes. During the tunnel of light, or however the being is making the transition to the inner planes, the being temporarily moves from their indigo ray etheric body to their violet ray body so they may be scanned and analyzed before moving back into their etheric body and continuing to the specific inner plane their level of spiritual advancement is aligned with. The violet ray body is the whole / complete body that the 7 red ray to indigo ray bodies operate within. The violet ray body is the totality of experiences for a being and so is used to best gauge if the unique being is ready to graduate to fourth density. We reiterate, since Earth is locked in to being a fourth density core positive planet, beings who graduate to fourth density positive will continue to incarnate onto Earth in its higher vibratory state and have their fourth density positive experience on Earth. Beings who graduate to fourth density negative will incarnate on a different planet that is a fourth density negative planet in a different solar system, where they will have their fourth density negative experience. A grand cycle for fourth density, positive or negative, is approximately 30 million years, but united groups could graduate to fifth density sooner or much later. If a fourth density negative being wants to switch polarities to the positive path, they cannot perform this action until at least the middle fourth subdensity, which is reached in approximately 15 million years. Beings are responsible for their choices, so one cannot simply switch polarities in the early stages of the next density. Human beings who are not ready to graduate to fourth density, which will be the majority on planet Earth, will incarnate on a different planet that offers a continuation of the third density experience in a different solar system. They will graduate to fourth density when they are ready and have made the choice. After the transitional period from later third to full fourth density experience, planet Earth will no longer offer a third density experience until millions of years later, after the fourth density positive beings on Earth have learned to be invisible to third density beings and their potential technology, and when the third density cycle hits the precise position in the cosmic clock. This is typical for all planets that have shifted into fourth density core planets. When the cosmic clock's gears align, the Earth will again offer an experience for third density beings, the second wave, while at the same time accommodating the fourth density positive beings who will have formed a united group at that time. Both the third and fourth density beings on a planet exist in the same dimension, with the fourth density beings' physical bodies only being invisible to third density beings because they have learned how to do so, and do so in order to play their role in the cosmic experience and not infringe upon third density beings' free will. This higher density single and multiple density experience on a planet continues throughout a planet's density ascension. After a planet fully transitions to a fifth density core planet, fourth density beings cease incarnating onto the planet until millions of years have passed and the fifth density beings have formed a united group and have learned to make their physical bodies invisible to fourth density beings. Then the second wave of fourth density beings may start incarnating onto the planet, and the planet hosts fourth and fifth density beings at the same time. After a planet fully transitions to a sixth density core planet, fifth density beings cease incarnating onto the planet until millions of years have passed and the sixth density beings have formed a united group and have learned to make their physical bodies invisible to fifth density beings. Then the second wave of fifth density beings may start incarnating onto the planet, and the planet hosts fifth and sixth density beings at the same time. At some point, the later sixth subdensity united group is ready and chooses to depart the planet and inhabit a logos/star, where they start learning the early seventh density material they need to adequately learn before graduating to seventh density. At this point, only fifth density beings reside on the sixth density core planet. At the end of their grand cycle, the fifth density beings who are ready to graduate to sixth density then make the quick evolutionary shift on the planet as it still resides in sixth density. The fifth density beings who are not ready to graduate yet incarnate onto a different planet. When the sixth density beings reach a point during the later sixth subdensity and are ready and choose to depart the sixth density planet, their united group inhabits a logos/star, so they may begin learning the early seventh density material they need to adequately learn before graduating to seventh density. Later sixth subdensity united groups remain on a logos and continue in service to the One until all the beings they experienced the third density with that were not ready to graduate at different times during density shifts have all advanced and met back up on the logos. This may take billions of years, but time is of no consequence for the later sixth subdensity united group as they continue in honor/duty to be in service to the One. And there is no location more blissful and loving in the cosmos than inhabiting a logos. When all these beings have joined the later sixth subdensity united group and are ready to graduate, the united group transitions to the seventh density experience and remains on the logos. Only later sixth subdensity and seventh density beings may inhabit logi. The seventh density experience is only experienced while inhabiting a logos/star and not on a planet. When the seventh density united group on a logos/star is ready to merge back with Source, and the cyclical timing is right within the cosmic clock, the logos/star phases into a black hole and the seventh density united group merges back with Source. The beings reside in their totality as Source, experiencing pure love, joy, and peace for as long as they please. Then they decide to either move on to the next cosmos or wander back to the cosmos they graduated from to take up a caretaker or overseer position on a council or elsewhere for a period of time before moving on to the next cosmos. Let us focus back on planet Earth. Planet Earth's vibration continues to rise until full fourth density is reached. Planet Earth's vibration started slowly rising in approximately 1935 CE and will exponentially increase until the micronova sends an intense wave of love, energy and photons that will saturate Earth from the molten core's center to the surface, greatly accelerating the process of vibratory ascension. Every atom on and in planet Earth will be affected. After the micronova, planet Earth's vibration will continue to rise until the fourth density experience in full is offered, and third density beings naturally cease their experience on Earth when each being transitions / dies at their own time. The second wave of third density beings will begin to incarnate millions of years later when the cyclical timing is right within the cosmic clock. At that time, Earth will host third and fourth density beings at the same time and will not share a societal experience because the fourth density positive united group will have learned how to be invisible to third density beings and inhabit an area of the planet where the third density beings are not living. Typically, the fourth density united group lives underground so they do not infringe upon the third density beings on the surface of the planet and are more protected from influxes of energy from the logos / star throughout the cycles. The underground structure of planets, including Earth, is not what human beings perceive. This will be expanded upon in a later subject. Since the Earth has already rose in vibration considerably, current third density beings on Earth have been exposed to this rising vibration that has already crossed into the beginnings of the fourth density vibration. All human beings are in the bathtub and the water's temperature has been rising. Those who are not able to deal with the rising vibration exhibit inharmonious mental states and actions, or even insanity. Typically, there are early to middle third subdensity beings, but later third subdensity beings and wanderers who are not adequately balanced may equally be affected. This will only increase as the vibration continues to rise. Due to your solar system moving into a highly charged area of the Milky Way galaxy, and due to the Logos / Sun delaying the micronova that initiates the later stages of the transition to full fourth density, higher density beings have buffered the incoming intense energy in order to lessen the adverse effects on Earthlings during the time period of the delay. The highly charged energy is lessened by this buffering, but not completely stopped. There would be not much of a reason to grant Earthlings a couple more decades that offer opportunities for them to expand their awareness and spiritually progress before the micronova if the incoming intense energy made all beings unstable and therefore unable to do so. This awareness expanding course we offer you is one of those opportunities for spiritual progression during this time period of delay. With the wide scope of information presented in this course is considered one of the major opportunities for progression during this time period of delay. By simply absorbing this course, a human being expands their awareness to some degree. If the human being practices the knowledge and wisdom presented in this course and does the inner work, they may spiritually progress majorly. A better idea of what the inner work is and how to do it will be known by the end of this course. Some human beings who would not have graduated during harvest time will be ready to graduate due to having absorbed this course and doing the inner work. If this course's information is not practiced, it is just that, information. This course provides the catalyst for change and spiritual advancement, but it is up to the individual to use this guiding information in practice for growth to occur. There are human beings fearful of death / transitioning who think surviving the micronova, geological changes, and repositioning of water on the planet will be the only obstacles they need to overcome. But as long as they avoid the self-work / inner work and do not strive to raise their vibration to adapt to the new planetary vibration, they will survive and live out the rest of their incarnation disharmoniously with mental and bodily suffering. But all beings have the free will to choose what they want to experience, and there are no judgments put upon their choices. At the end of a third density grand cycle, planets with a mixed and negative graduation have more geological changes. This is because mental thoughts and emotions are real things that charge and create changes in physical matter. The physical impact from mental creations happens slowly in third density, but it happens quicker at the end of a grand cycle when the vibration of the planet has started moving into fourth density vibration. Just as inharmonious thoughts and emotions embed tension in the human being's physical body till the inner work is done to transmute and release such energy, human beings' inharmonious thoughts and emotions also embed tension in geographical areas of the planetary body of Earth where they transpire. When an influx of energy is applied to the planet at the end of major cycles, and even minor cycles where micronovas do not occur, the energy reacts with the stored tension in the planetary body and transmutes, releases, and balances out the tension. Geological shifts and repositioning of water on the planetary body are what occur while this process of transmutation is transpiring. Due to more negativity being produced, mixed and negative graduations create more tension in the human body and the planetary body than positive graduations. So more geological shifts need to occur to cleanse the planetary body of built-up inharmonious energy. During the end of major cycles, and especially a grand cycle, land masses or continents can sink and rise out of the oceans in a matter of minutes or hours. Grand canyons and other major geologic formations are made and unmade quickly. If one wants to respect the entity that is planet Earth, one needs to respect their own mind-body-spirit complex. For to not respect one's mind while producing negative thoughts and emotions is similar to not respecting the entity of planet Earth, who is known as Gaia, because those negative thoughts and emotions not only affect oneself and other beings in the collective, but they also affect Gaia. All are connected, all are one. What one does affects all. Just as it is appropriate to respect and honor the planetary body, it is appropriate to respect and honor one's own human body, which is their temple. Just as it would benefit a human being to care for and give maintenance to their transportation vehicle, cars, trucks, etc., so that it runs properly and does not break down before it gets them to where they need to go, the same is appropriately done to a human being's body so experiences can be had and goals that were pre-incarnate planned can be accomplished before transitioning. At some point, a human being discards their transportation vehicle and their third density body, and so the chemicals they derive from return to the planetary body where they came from, where they were borrowed from. Until that time comes, keeping them running smoothly and in top condition aids the human being in their incarnation endeavors. A being's inharmonious mental thoughts and emotions and chosen foodstuffs to consume affect their physical body, as well as their mental and spiritual complexes, and eventually the body signals this to the being with aches and pains, eventually leading to more serious ailments such as cancer if the body's signals are ignored. The last result of continuing to ignore such signals is to transition/die. These inharmonious thoughts, emotions, and foodstuffs poison the being's own body, other bodies it shares spaces with, affects the mass consciousness of the collective, and harms the body of the earth. All is connected because all is one being in reality. Inharmonious mental thoughts and emotions embedded in the human body are like stains on a shirt. If not cleaned in the wash machine in time, the structure of the fabric of the shirt becomes compromised and deteriorates. The increase in ailments and cancer cases on Earth is partially due to inharmonious mental thoughts from not harmonizing with the higher vibrations. When exposed to vibrations that are higher than one is used to, which is currently the situation on Earth in this time period as Earth moves forward toward full fourth density vibration, everything is expedited. Positive thoughts and emotions cause one's vibration to raise quickly and more intensely, and negative thoughts and emotions cause one's vibration to lower quickly and more intensely. The quickening and intensity of raising vibrations assists the detaching of the wheat from the chaff during harvest time. It should be noted that other main culprits for rising cancer cases and other life-threatening diseases are due to chemical polluting and many words shown on screen, all of which, except for a portion of foodstuff altering, have been purposely done to reduce and weaken the majority of human beings, so the highly negatively oriented third density human beings may fulfill their agendas more easily. We restate, higher negatively oriented third density human beings, whom humans have labeled elites, globalists, or simply they, use programming methods to shape social conditioning for the majority, so there is a probability increase in disbelieving and mocking free-thinking, observant human beings who raise important issues, exposing the highly negatively oriented human beings' agendas, such as those we just mentioned. A highly charged term in the negatively oriented third density human beings programming package, word shown on screen, has been utilized to dismiss and ridicule the free-thinking, observant human beings who expose the highly negatively oriented human beings' agendas. Most of the ideas that have been labeled with this programming term are accurate. Many of the inaccurate ideas that this programming term has been applied to were ideas created by the clever, negatively oriented human beings themselves, who made it appear as if the free-thinking human beings came up with the inaccurate ideas, which then jeopardizes the free thinker's entire body of information through association, damaging their credibility and making others less likely to consider any of their ideas. A prime example of one of these ideas, originally created by the negatively oriented beings and passed off as free thinkers' idea, was the so-called word shown on screen. Since this theory is inaccurate to the degree of humorous amusement being displayed by those who come across it, it was an accomplishment by the clever negatively oriented beings in poisoning the whole well of the free thinker's body of information. Paid human tools were ordered to spread the so-called word shown on screen throughout the internet in order to associate the foolish idea with the free thinker's body of information in order to drive human beings entirely away from the actual free thinker's body of information, the accurate ideas. This tactic of applying false information to targeted individuals, groups, or movements in order to discredit them has been widely used in many areas and forms because it has been proven to be effective. The coming micronova at the end of Earth's third density grand cycle has been known for decades by some human factions on Earth, but they have kept it secret, along with so much else different factions have kept secret from each other and the vast majority, using human tools through social conditioning to verbally or even physically attack those who try to expose such secrets, or those who simply do not follow the basic programming. Many human beings have been forced transitioned / killed while attempting to expose such secrets held by those human beings who practice service to self actions that cause separation and major disharmony. Beings who have already graduated to fourth density positive have been incarnating on Earth with dual activated third and fourth density bodies for some decades in order to assist with the transitional physical body for the coming fourth density experience. Like apes to humans, this takes a transitional period where the offspring's physical body becomes closer and closer through rapid evolution in reaching the new baseline physical body to be used in the next density. These beings with dual activated bodies are not of any particular race and should not be seen as more special than third density beings with only one activated body, the yellow ray body. They have simply graduated already and are aiding in the transition. As with wanderers, this reality is unknown to their conscious mind, but they may feel they are different in some way than those in their society. Beings with dual activated bodies, true early fourth subdensity beings, wanderers, walk-ins, and all higher density beings are part of oneness like all beings. They are currently more advanced, further along the journey than true third density beings, but they are not superior. No being, no matter their advancement or density, is superior than another. All is one. All is of Source and is Source collectively. A third density being is experiencing a focal point of awareness in a long line of their incarnations that lead up to their higher self in later sixth subdensity and their totality of selves in seventh density. To think of oneself as superior than another is a falsity and a confusion trap that negatively oriented and negative beings fall into. The exact time of the coming micronova is known by no being who is an active player in the illusion. We have stated that it will occur approximately in 2034 CE. This is approximate. It could potentially occur a year or two sooner or later. It will transpire when the time is right and the Logos sees fit. There will also be powerful coronal mass ejections, CMEs, leading up to the micronova. More than one powerful act of energy by the Logos will occur. A portion of third density beings, including some wanderers, have pre-incarnate planned on surviving the micronova and geological changes to aid with rebuilding communities and assist with the transition to full fourth density. We restate, due to Earthling's strong programming of fear of death, transitioning is as natural as breathing. You have done it many times before, and you will do it countless more times. Transitioning quickly during the end of a major cycle is a much smoother and less painful experience than slowly dying of a disease over months or years while continually suffering in the third density body. Whether a being transitions / dies during the micronova and geological changes or decades after is as it should be, as all beings have already planned the timing of their transition before they incarnated. There is no reason to fear transitioning during the end of a major cycle or at any time. If one pre-incarnate plan to transition during the end of a major cycle, then they will. They fulfill their plans and continue on their journey back to Source by preparing for their next incarnation on planet Earth or on a different planet. Some human beings may label this topic as what they call quote-unquote doom and gloom. We do not see any doom or gloom in this topic. Change is inevitable, welcomed, and necessary for the flow of the cosmic experience. If one still perceives this topic as being of doom and gloom or experienced fear while absorbing it, it means they have not understood nor removed their fear of transitioning. A lesson that was first offered to be absorbed in the Introduction Subject 101.4. We suggest returning to Subject 101.4 and this subject again, and then ruminating and meditating on the material if you felt fear while covering this harvest time topic. If you are triggered, strong inharmonious emotions or thoughts arising from stimuli, by this topic or any other topic, it is a sign that inner work needs to be done to resolve and transmute the tension embedded in your mind-body-spirit complex. Avoiding heavy issues leaves the tension in one's mind and body complexes and acts like a poison where the negative programming remains and perhaps strengthens. These deep-seated traumas or other distortions not only affect the mind, they collect in the body and may result in ailments or even cancer. Even the baby does not forego trying to walk if they fall down several times and hit their head in their attempts and resign to crawling everywhere for the rest of their incarnation. So why should a so-called adult? We restate, the mind, body, and spirit are all connected. When one is unbalanced, all are unbalanced to a certain degree. To ignore the signs of an imbalance is to ignore growth and spiritual progression. This course is presented in video format for free to overcome book shadow banning and make its existence known. Now that you know it exists, it's recommended to proceed how this course is intended to be absorbed by book. The title of the book is The Cosmic Experience of One, an awareness expanding course for human beings. The information in this course is more effective and appropriate to be read in book form where one can pause and ruminate and meditate on the material as they read. Besides the low audio quality in the videos and the protection from targeted spoken words and censorship, the book is a much better way to understand and learn the material. The book contains two more subjects, 104.2 and 104.3, which is my way of thanking those who show their appreciation to my aiding services by purchasing the book. Since we currently live in a broken monetary system, without your show of monetary appreciation for my services, I can't get by and continue to perform service to others acts by writing more meaningful books. Purchasing the book not only shows your appreciation for my services and allows me to live in this monetary system, but the course's material will be easily accessible for your revisiting. To more fully absorb the material, it's recommended to read the book at least twice. You will understand why on your second reading. You can gain positive polarity by doing your part in sharing this awareness expanding course with others. Raising the collective's vibration is a team effort. We cannot do this alone. Your participation is required. Liking and subscribing are also actions that make this course seen by more human beings. A negatively oriented being learns information and keeps it to themselves so they can selfishly benefit over others. A positively oriented being learns information and wants others to benefit from it as well because they care. And they know that aiding others also aids themselves. This is true in more ways than one. As a being gains positive polarity for aiding others, and they benefit again when another's vibration is raised because it raises the whole collective's vibration, which assists all, including the first being who shared. All are connected, all are one. Comments and questions will be read, but I will not reply with comments, nor like comments, nor heart comments, nor interact in the comments section in any way. If comments or questions are found to warrant a reply, the reply will be made in a possible future video. If an account using the same or similar profile picture, channel name, or my author name interacts in any of the ways listed above or other ways, know that it's not me and is a human tool working for the negatively oriented human beings to capture and twist the information in this course or your perception, or smear the messenger. Likewise, human tools may create fake accounts on this platform or others in the same attempt to capture and twist its course's information. Official sources for me are listed in the description field below. Everything else is fake.